to the Phoenix Sports Podcast presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a 5-star review. I'm Chierstin. She's Makayla.
Hi.
And happy Friday. Happy International Beer Day to everybody.
It is International Beer Day. We are drinking the Wow Light Citrus Ale from our friends at Four Peaks. And
the cutest cans.
The cutest cans ever, but also the best tasting beer.
Ooh.
So cheers to Friday, everybody. If you got your Four Peaks, drink with us. It's Friday. We deserve a treat.
Nobody look at my nails while I drink this.
Yeah, I also need a manicure. Wow, that is delicious. Shout out to Four Peaks. We love you. We are actually running a sweepstakes right now. It is the Toast of the Month sweepstakes. Enter to win for a chance at a $50 Four Peaks gift card, a PHNX shirt of your choice, and a PHNX annual membership. Go to gophnx.com now or click the link in the show notes to enter. Must be 21 or older. And as always, enjoy responsibly.
Dang, I usually stick to my normal hazy. And that, or I do seltzers. That's freaking good.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm obsessed with that.
Doesn't it kind of remind you of a seltzer a little bit?
Does.
It's very seltzer-esque. I like it a lot.
But
it's very poolside.
Yeah, sometimes I get sick of just the same seltzers all the time. That is extra refreshing.
Big fan. Shout out to Four Peaks for making that delicious beer. Thank you.
Well, let's get into another segment of highs and lows to recap the week here. Unfortunately, it's been a mess. It's been another poo storm of a week. If I might say so myself.
We need to retire that. I'm sorry. No more. No more. I can't do poo storm
I thought
anymore.
we agreed that if you just need someone to swear for you, Chierstin, I'll just do it.
All right,
So
go
it's
ahead.
Another shitstorm of a week.
Yeah, I mean, it really was.
It was
and
a
honestly,
mess.
not even just here locally, just the sports news that came out this week in general, across the board, a lot of it just sad, sobering, disappointing. Those are some of the words that I would use to describe just the sports landscape this week. So.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what is in the air. I don't know if Mercury is in retrograde. I'm not sure what is going on, but quite frankly, I am over it because last week we were on such a high. It was such a good week last week, and this week is just the biggest bummer of all bummers, and I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of over it. So we got some therapy. We got to work through this because we have some thoughts.
We're going to do some therapy. We're going to talk about the lows of the week, but there are also some good things too, thankfully. So we're going to make sure that we end this therapy session on a high note. But first, we all know by now Hollywood Brown. Cardinals wide receiver arrested for going 126 miles per hour on the 101 this week. Not a good look. Also dangerous. So I'm not even just going to say oh, that's an awful look. What a distraction. That's also really dangerous. And so, this is just one of many distractions that have gone on, or potential distractions that have gone on this week. And Hollywood Brown is supposed to be the guy that's stepping in, and D-Hop's absence supposed to make an immediate impact. And, this could go away, and it just is what it is, because we saw Zaven Collins had a similar incident around this time last year, and it completely went away and didn't make any of a difference. But you would hope that that's a guy that, you're not having to deal with this stuff with.
Yeah, I don't know who in their right mind needs to go 126 miles an hour down the 101. I've been late. I'm always late, and I still don't ever top out past 80s. So
that's scary speed.
We gotta slow down, my guy. There's no reason to be going 126 miles an hour on the 101. If you're late, just call up Cliff. Be like, yo, I'm running late. I'm not going to make it. But hey, I'm not going to get a speeding ticket, and I'm going to get there alive, and I'm not going to endanger everybody else that's on the highway. I'll see you in 30 minutes. What are we doing?
Yeah. Or, just wake up a little earlier. Hopefully lesson learned. Sometimes, listen, we all make mistakes in life. So hopefully lesson learned. Hopefully this doesn't carry into the season at all whatsoever. And it's Zaven Collins situation where he learns from it. We move on. It just is what it is. And Charles Woodall Pike saying the freeway number is not the speed limit. Even if it was the speed limit, he would still get pulled over. Even if 101 was the speed limit, he was going 126. So that's the sitch. And then he's also dealing with a hamstring injury, so he's not even practicing. He's just been going through walkthroughs. So that's the Hollywood Brown situation. Kyler Murray got COVID. At this point in 2022, it's not rare. It's not, it just is what it is. It's just unfortunate because a lot has happened off the field with Kyler. Some stuff is not, anything he could do anything about. Some stuff is, self-inflicting, whatever. I mean, obviously getting COVID, it just is what it is. And they're hoping to have him back on, we're already Friday, tomorrow for the red and white game. Scrimmage, and at least that's what Cliff said today, but I feel like that's very unlikely. So now, Kyler's missed some time. It is what it is. It's still early. I mean, he can catch up, but like, you hate to have your quarterback missing your big Saturday scrimmage. It's an annual event.
Yeah, well, he did have to quarantine, obviously, for 5 days, as the CDC recommends. And the good thing is he had plenty of time to play his video games. So maybe he got it all out of his system. He had a lot of time to play COD, and there's no
Yeah, the season hasn't started yet, so well, shoot, he doesn't really have film to watch. But I was also thinking that clause was still a thing, that it's not his clause hasn't started, but it's
entire
gone.
5-day period to play COD to no end. So I'm sure he got it all out of his system. We're never going to be talking about Kyler Murray playing video games ever again after this, because he had however many hours there are in a 5-day period to play
Is that what he
unlimited
plays?
video games.
Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Is that his thing?
Yeah, this is like getting sick on syllabus week. Like, you just get to skip class.
Oh my God,
and also don't have any
That's
homework.
such a good analogy.
That is the best way. Yes, I'm obsessed with that. He got sick on Silly Week, and he got it all out of his system. Yeah, you never called it that in
You've
college?
never heard of Silly Week?
It's Silly Week.
I always called
like
it syllabus.
SYLL.
I mean, I get it, but like, I didn't know that was like a thing I missed out on. I just called it
you also
syllabus
don't know
week.
what a PJ is, so
Well,
the bar is
true.
low. The bar is very low.
I do know what a PJ is now. Now I do.
Hopefully you're feeling better, Kyler. Sorry, I like to make fun of your video games, but I hope you're feeling better.
I think he's doing just fine. In fact, if he wasn't, then Cliff wouldn't be talking about him hopefully playing tomorrow or participating tomorrow. So hopefully we do see him out at State Farm Stadium. Also, a quick note that just wasn't great news this week. Antoine Wesley, receiver, injured. He was walking with a little bit of a limp today out at practice, and they said that they're gonna hopefully try and ride it out and see if he could just rehab it. But they're not going to know till next week if some sort of surgery is going to be required. So good news for Andy Isabella. But it's just that in and of itself is okay, that happens. But when things just start to pile up, you're like, no, I don't even want to hear that Wesley has a potential something. I don't want to hear anything that might be bad.
Yeah, I think I'm going to blame Johnny Venerable. This is all Johnny Venerable's fault. He tweeted that this offseason or this training camp period has been a relatively
I just
quiet
spilled
one.
beer all on my shirt.
Did you just spill on yourself?
Just move
literally-
your hair a little bit. No one will notice.
It's literally all over me. No, but what you're not seeing is it's in my lap too.
Are you okay?
Oh, well, yeah. Listen, I've done that on Sun Devils. You just got to roll with it.
Well, anyways, Chierstin is having some issues over there. I'm blaming this on Johnny Venerable. It's his fault. He jinxed it. He said this was a quiet time for the Cardinals, and look what happened. So
I thought you were blaming the spilled beer on Johnny Venerable.
I'm going to blame that on Johnny, too.
Dang it,
It's all Johnny's fault. Today is all of Johnny's fault. If anything goes bad today for you guys who are watching the show, just blame it on Johnny. The Cardinals. It's just one thing after another.
Oh, wait, there's more. There's more.
I know there's
actually
more.
the worst part of it all. All right, so we will stop venting about the Cardinals after this last one. But it is another one of those things where it was just this cannot be real. You're kidding me. So James Saxon, the running backs coach, was charged with domestic battery, 2 counts of it, one of which is actually a felony. So we're talking about a serious incident here. It's said to have happened at an Indy at a Costco, in public. I also heard that there was another, a potential other incident. So, it's just there's a lot there. He was placed on administrative leave, so he was not at practice today, obviously, and we'll see how long that happens. So right now they're without their running backs coach, which in the grand scheme of things, we all know that life and matters outside of football are in fact greater than the Cardinals just, being without a position coach. But you hate to see one more thing. The Cardinal, it's not like the Cardinals are the only teams that deal with anything like this, but it's dude, can we, everybody, at this point on, everybody start taking accountability for all of your own freaking actions. wake up on time so you're not speeding. I don't know if that was the case, but let's just say it was. Be a good human, and let's not get into like instances where police are called and you're being charged for stuff. Let's watch your behavior on social media. Let's go, people. Like, we're entering a season here. Like, we're either all in or we're not. But like at this point, like, I would be so pissed off if I were anyone on that team right now. That crap just keeps happening.
Yeah, the narrative around the Cardinals has been very negative for a very long time, especially with all the offseason drama that started with Kyler Murray and his contract situation. And I agree. If I'm a guy in the locker room that shows up every day, keeps my head down, does my job, is on time, does all the right things, and all this shit is happening outside of my control, I would start getting a little frustrated. Like, I know we have a clip of Cliff speaking at camp today about the distractions that have been happening, but I just don't understand like how that doesn't bother. Like, I'm sure it does, and I can't read their minds, but it would bother me so bad if I was one of those guys that was showing up and being accountable. Like you said, Chierstin, it's time to like get your head out of your ass, do what you're supposed to do, be a good human. Like, let's go. It's football season. Wake up. Let's do our jobs. Let's get the job done. And it's just frustrating. But Cliff did speak at training camp today, and he talked about the distractions that were happening outside of the field. So here's that clip.
You look to the leaders in this locker room. You never want to have distractions when you're trying to build a team and build camaraderie and you know, be the best version of yourselves. But we've definitely had that. Luckily, we have some great leaders and guys who can compartmentalize things and continue to work to get better. But you'd like the focus to be on football moving forward, and hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, you would like the focus to be on football, but so far there have been many things that haven't been football related that has happened with this organization, and I'm just tired of it. Cheers.
Yeah. Hopefully that this doesn't. I mean, I feel like it's super easy to like compartmentalize things. Like, even like, oh, that happened in the off season, that happened in the preseason. Like, we're not quite to the season yet, so hopefully we can just like block this all off, put it aside, use this as like a shock to the system to say, like, we all need to wake up, we need to refocus heading into the season, and then we're not talking about any of this stuff during the season. But it's just like it's just unfortunate for like from a fan perspective who gets like, you're getting really excited for a new season and all the possibilities and high expectations and new contracts and all these things. And it's just like, this is the stuff that is circulating in the news right now.
Yep. But there are some good things that happened for the Cardinals camp.
There are some good things. Newsworthy, DJ Humphries signed a 3-year extension. Happy to have the left tackle stay in Arizona. He also negotiated it himself. So DeAndre Hopkins starting a little bit of a trend with that. He did also say that he doesn't think he's ever going to do it again, but it was like a good experience. So good for him.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by the fact that he did it by himself. I was super impressed when I first learned that this was like a thing that could be done in the league when D-Hop came out and said that he negotiated his own. So shout out to Hump. I love Hump. He is just a gem of a human being. He has the best personality. He is super kind, always has a smile on his face. So I'm always glad to see like a character guy like that stay in Arizona. And he got a good chunk of money, 3 years, $45 million. And 3-year, $45 million extension. $34 million of that is guaranteed. And I think he has done a great job on the field earning that money, and has also done a great job off the field as well. Definitely a guy that you want in your locker room. So I'm glad DJ Hump is here to stay for a little bit longer.
It's a good chunk of change that he now does not have to pay an agent for.
That's true.
He gets to keep all of it, no commission.
All that change in the pocket.
It's funny too. Anytime DJ Humphries does anything, he has sort of outperformed his previous nickname of Knee Deep, but people still bring it up till this day of like, wow, he went from knee deep to this, and you know, like it follows him anywhere he goes. But for whatever reason, like I think our minds always go back to like where he started. With Bruce Arians giving him that nickname. And if you don't know what it is, he gave him the nickname because essentially like if anybody needs like a kick in the butt to like get going, his was knee deep. He had to give like a knee deep kick in the butt is basically what Arians was referring to. So gave him that nickname, did not go well with DJ Humphries, was not a very kind nickname. But yeah, so like I saw that circulating too, like hopefully we can let him drop that nickname. But
Ooh, congrats, T-Hub.
happy to see where he's come from, how far he's come, and congrats, Hump. We're happy to have you.
Some things we're not happy about, however. Oh my God, Diamondbacks. I want to cry. David Peralta is no longer an Arizona Diamondback.
Dude, I'm so sad.
This is so tragic.
This was more than baseball for me. Like, I loved David Peralta, and I loved cheering for him.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys, too, that is a great character guy that was very invested in the community of Arizona, gave back a lot of his time and energy to things outside of the diamond, off of the field. So it was a big bummer to see him go. I knew it was coming. I had a feeling, we kind of talked about it on our last show before the trade deadline happened, that we had a feeling David Peralta wasn't going to be here anymore. But still, even though you still have a feeling and you still know it might happen, like, it doesn't make it any easier, especially because of how much he meant to Arizona and the community, and also because of the return that they got back. The Diamondbacks got back a 19-year-old catching prospect, Chierstin, who just played in rookie ball. Never heard of him. He's not ranked, and I'm not quite happy about that. I was reading some articles this morning. ESPN gave the trade a C grade. Usually, in these types of trades, you'll get some like low-level pitching prospects in return. And so I guess the Diamondbacks got a little bit creative and went for a catcher. They obviously need some catching depth on their roster, but still, what the heck? Like, we couldn't have gotten anything better for David Peralta. Like, he was a great player, and I'm just like bummed with what we got back, but it is what it is. And David Peralta, we miss you, and I'm sorry, and I hope you love Tampa and you win a ring.
I know the D-backs guy said that this catching prospect was someone that the D-backs had tried to get before, and then he ended up signing with the Rays. So apparently the D-backs are pretty high on him. But
they finally got the guy they wanted. Yeah, they had to give up David Peralta to get him.
To your point about how much this hurts for D-backs fans, I was in the Dutch line the other day wearing my D-backs hat, and I got to the window, and the girl was like, "Do you follow the D-backs?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, she just kind of leaned out the window. She's like, "Why the fuck did they trade David Peralta?" And I was like, "Listen, you're asking the wrong person."
Oh my God. If the Dutch Bros people are upset about it, everybody's upset about it, because the Dutch Bros people are so happy. So, what a heartbreaker.
I was making this case before, like, he really was sort of the face of the franchise. I feel like there was no like clear cut like face, like a Goldie type person. But like, if you were to ask me who the face is, I would have said David Peralta, like, hands down.
Yeah, he was.
And anytime you go to like a fan fest or anything like that, like, everybody's wearing a David Peralta jersey. Like, all the girls have like David Peralta signs and stuff and things like that. Like, he was so beloved, and there was nobody that was like kinder or funnier in the clubhouse than David Peralta. So like, I get a little bit attached in those ways, especially if you're like dealing with a team that's not really winning. I'm like, well, if you're gonna trade away like your face and like such a good locker or like clubhouse guy, at least get a little bit more for him. But like, whatever. I hated to see him go. I know it's business, but like, dang. And I wish him the best. I so totally wish him the best.
Absolutely wish you the best, David. Another thing that we would like to talk about too, really quickly. Unfortunately, we got some other sad news coming from the Diamondbacks organization this week. Mike Hazen's wife, Nicole, lost her battle with cancer. She leaves behind, obviously, Mike Hazen and then their 4 children as well. So our deepest condolences to the Hazen family, to everybody who knew Nicole, everybody in the Diamondbacks organization who's affected by the loss. Cancer freaking sucks, and it's such a bummer when things like this happen. So we are sending our thoughts and our prayers, obviously, to the Hazen family and everyone who knew Nicole.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking, and it's been heartbreaking for a while. Hazen took a leave of absence last year, and you knew things were getting pretty serious, just to spend more time with her and with his family. And I commended him for that, and I commended the Diamondbacks for allowing him to do that, and to spend time away from the organization to spend time with his family. So I'm glad he got to spend that time with her and with his family. But it's just heartbreaking. And, my thoughts, my prayers go out to the Hazen family and anyone who was affected by her loss. Because I just could not imagine being in any of their shoes. Just absolutely heartbreaking. So we just wanted to take a minute of the show to at least say our thoughts are with you guys and with the organization right now in this process.
Yeah, absolutely. Some good news coming out of Diamondbacks, though. Makayla won the National League Pitcher of the Month award, which is awesome. That is a huge feat. He had a 4-0 win-loss record in the month of July. He pitched 41 1/3 innings. He had a 1.31 ERA, a .77 WHIP, and 33 strikeouts. Holy cow, Makayla. He was wheeling and dealing out there on the mound. I have said this before, and I will say it again. I think Makayla is one of the best things that has ever happened to the Diamondbacks organization. He is truly a reliable pitcher, and he makes my heart happy. So congrats to winning NL Pitcher of the Month, Merrill. Balling out.
He's having his best season as a Diamondback, and I get a little bit like conflicted because I wish they were just a little bit better. But he's a huge reason for any success that they've had. So they're not gonna really win anything this season. So if we can get a couple players of the month honors for Diamondbacks or an all-star nod or whatever the case, I'm gonna celebrate all of those little individual wins for each player who gets some recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a huge feat. He also won Player of the Week the same week that he won National League Player of the Month. So he is just on a roll. We love you, Makayla. Shout out. You are wheeling and dealing out there. It's cool to see.
All right, what do we have next? We're skipping around here a little bit. We do have another, I guess for sure would be a low in terms of the Brittney Griner situation. Another thing that we want to make sure that we're not being redundant about, but we got to keep talking about it. And there's definitely been a giant step forward with the situation with Brittney in Russia. So she was sentenced to 9 years in prison this week, which is just a shocking reminder and a sobering reminder of the magnitude of the situation. And, Russia's not messing around. But the silver lining in it is they weren't, they were open about the fact that they weren't going to begin negotiations, legitimate negotiations, until a sentence was handed down. So at least you can look at it in the way of like, okay, the trial is over and hopefully they will, uphold their end of the bargain and saying like, okay, now we'll begin negotiations.
Yeah, for sure.
So a step forward at this point, like I'll take it. We obviously would have liked to have her home a long time ago, but it's a process. And it was heartbreak, another just heartbreak. You just gotta, there's a human element to all of it, and heart just goes out to her and her family, and it was just a sobering reminder.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, though, it was expected. The sentence was what was needed in order to get this process started. So I just hope now we're on the track to actually bringing her home and actually getting these negotiations like further along so that she can get back here to America, to her family, to her teammates who are all really missing her. I tweeted something yesterday about the lack of empathy in this world and how alarming that it is. I have never seen such disgusting vitriol about this situation as I have on the internet before. People are so quick to judge and so quick to have just no sympathy or empathy for another human being. And it really bothers me. And this whole situation has really bothered me and has not sat well with me. So we are going to keep talking about BG until she does come home, because it's time to bring her home. It's been time to bring her home for a while. And if you are one of those people who decides to get on the internet and say sad, horrible things, I really hope you take a second to look within yourself and have some kindness and have some empathy for other human beings, because this situation is sad. There are people really hurting. Brittney's really hurting, and it's time to bring her home. So I'm hoping now we can at least get closer to that.
Yes, absolutely. Agreed. And we will continue to talk about it and bring it up and just remind people that the situation is still going on. We haven't forgotten about it, not even close.
Let's end on some highs. We need some highs.
Let's round out the segment with some highs. And both both have ties to ASU and U of A.
Good things about ASU?
So
what?
Yes, good things about ASU. They have finally gotten in on the NIL world, which is great to see. Their boosters have launched the Sun Angel Collective with over $1 million, which... honestly, it's not a lot, but hey, it's a start.
Okay, but also, can we take a second? I was like, at first, I was like, $1 million? Like, what? That's so much money. And then you looked at me and you're like, Mac, like, no, it's not. Like, do you know how much like the SEC schools are like building? Like, just I can't speak.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know how much of that
that's $1 million before they even launched. Like, it's $1 million to start with, and like, obviously not all of it's going to the players, but I think Oregon is the highest in the SEC or in the Pac-12 in terms of money, NIL money going to players, and they're about $2 million. So it's not like the Pac-12's got money like that, but I mean they still have a ways to go. But it's a very solid start.
Very
Open.
solid, like step in the right direction. They've got ASU alums like Jake the Plumber, Brock Osweiler, Jordan Simone, Omar Bolden. Yeah. Hey,
the big ones.
all a part of it. And I don't know. You just like to see some like school pride too, like boosters and people on the outskirts of it, like stepping up to say like, hey, in order for us to now remain relevant in this current college landscape, like we need to do something. Like this is what it's going to take. So the fact that they're even heading in that direction. And we're able to get raise the money that they even raised, is great to see, because they were heading in the wrong dang direction, trying to act like that, like they're above the NIL or something.
I totally agree. When Ray Anderson came out and said that NIL wasn't going to be like a focus or a priority of any of the athletic groups, I was like, what are we doing? Like, are you kidding me? Like, NIL is here. It's the future. Like, you might not like it, but you can't do anything about it. Like, and if you're not going to get behind that train and you're going to push full force into putting like resources behind like promoting NIL, you're going to lose athletes. And they did. So many athletes left and entered the transfer portal from the football program because of their stance on NIL. And I don't necessarily blame them, because if the resources are out there now and they're not going to help the kids like gain access to those resources, like I wouldn't want to stay either, especially when I see, you know, Joe Schmo at University of Alabama getting like a $4 million deal to play football there. Like, I'm sorry, but I think not contributing to the NIL world and going down that path is a huge mistake, because even if you don't like it, you don't agree with it, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's here and you have to be a player in that space. Otherwise, you're going to literally lose players because of that decision. So I'm glad that these boosters got together and started the Sun Angel Collective, because they need to compete in this NIL space or they are not going to be taken seriously as a football program. They're going to lose talent. They're going to lose athletes, and it's just not going to be good for them.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Are they going to change the name of the conference this year?
What do you mean?
Well, not this year, because Oklahoma or USC and UCLA don't leave until 2024.
But like, are they going to when are they going to start like rebranding it? Like,
I mean, it wouldn't be until they left. Obviously, they're going to try and get new schools.
So they might. Okay, so it might remain the Pac-12.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if anything, they're going to try and grow it. I think obvious candidates are San Diego State, Boise State, maybe like a Utah State, but you obviously have those two leaving. BYU is already out of the picture because they're going to the Big 12.
San Diego State?
San Diego State, Boise State, I think are the two most obvious choices. So I think their goal is going to be to get back to the Big 12, but the Big 10 had 11 teams for a while. I don't know if they're going to change their name. At Big 12, actually, I
just didn't know if they like announced like there's not. I mean, obviously they're gonna continue on with the teams that they have like this year, but like I didn't know if there was like an announcement that I had missed of like, hey, we're gonna change.
Yeah, the interestingly, the Big 12 and the Big 10, they do for sure have teams coming. Obviously USC and UCLA to the Big 10, and then Utah or BYU, UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati are all going to the Big 12. Neither of those conferences have announced plans to change their names. I agree with Daniel.
Yeah,
the conferences should just drop the numbers. And with as much as everything's changing, just be the Pacific Athletic Conference.
Yes.
Just be Big 12 is going to have to change. Yeah, the SEC works. There's no reason that the PAC needs a number.
ACC?
The ACC, exactly.
Yeah.
The Big 10 and the Big 12, they need to figure it out because they don't have anything to stand for.
Just get rid of the numbers. Make it easy.
Yeah,
we don't need to have numbers
anymore. I mean, if the Big 12 and the SEC, the Big 12 and the Big 10 get rid of their numbers, then they're just both the big conference. So they're gonna have to completely rebrand. We'll see. I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's my squirrel brain for you.
That's okay. I think we need to end this on a really happy note, an absurdly happy note, and it
so
brings me so much
cute.
joy because this story involves both University of Arizona and Arizona State University, which I don't think has ever happened in the history of the two schools existing. It kind of just like brings the two worlds together. So it came out this week. Obviously, kids are reporting back for training camp for football that the Arizona's wide receiver, his name is
Jacob Cowing.
He named his child, his literal flesh and blood, after Chase Lucas, who played at Arizona State. And the whole interaction was so heartwarming. He actually talked to our friend of the show, Justin Spears, and we have the video of him. So let's go ahead and roll it.
How did you come up with Chase?
It's kind of a crazy story. So when I was running track my freshman year of high school, there was a guy named Chase who ran for Chandler High School, and he was just crazy fast. And I kind of wanted, to name him after him. And I just always liked the name Chase. Growing up, I always told my parents, if I ever had a kid or a son, I would want to name him Chase, and have that, that name. Like he's kind of fast. People have to chase him and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a hand in hand kind of thing.
So the guy that ran at Chandler, what was his full name?
I think it was he played for ASU, Chase Lucas.
Okay.
The cornerback. Yeah. So I remember I talked to him a couple of times, and he knew some of my other track members of my team, and we all kind of hung out. We all raced against each other, had fun, and competed. So it was kind of like a kind of cool experience, kind of meeting him and stuff like that.
So I was gonna say, what does he think about you naming your son after him?
Honestly, I'm not too sure if he knows that I named my son after him, but I think he did. If he did know, I think he would find that pretty cool, and I think he would appreciate that a lot for sure.
Well, he definitely did appreciate it, and he absolutely knows now, because as you saw, Chase Lucas actually quote tweeted that video saying that he appreciated it so much, and it was such a cute, wholesome interaction. I was so happy to see this, because you never see ASU and U of A players getting along. He said, "It's a privilege, bro. He got a great role model for a father, and I cannot wait to see the little man grow. Good luck this year, bro." Oh, my heart!
I love that. I also love the fact that he was like, I don't think he knows.
Yeah.
And Chase Lucas found out because a clip was on the Twitter. That's pretty cool. Also Chase Lucas as a kid, he was a super, super, super senior at ASU. Came back, was such a leader for them. Came back in tumultuous times too. Just wanted, loved the game of football, played with absolute heart, was a great locker room guy, a great kid in general. Have always wished nothing but the best for Chase Lucas. So if you're going to name your child after him, that was a great decision.
Great pick. Great guy. Chierstin, I'm not having kids, but if I ever did have a kid, I would name it Chierstin Jr. So
Chierstin Jr. CJ?
CJ. Oh, that's cute. Now I kind of want to have kids just so I can name it CJ.
Aww, little CJ.
Oh, well, speaking of football, Chierstin, it is almost NFL season, and my body is so ready. I've missed the NFL. I've missed watching football on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays, and I'm super excited because obviously we're going to get to be betting on football, which is my favorite sport to bet on, and we're going to be doing it on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Cheers. I know you're excited to bet on some football too.
I am more of I like to bet on specific games and game props and things like that. So although you can bet in the off season on certain things like MVP odds and things like that, I'm more so an in-season bettor, and I cannot wait to start betting on some NFL games again this season. Already have my DraftKings Sportsbook app downloaded, but if you haven't downloaded it yet, you can do it now using the promo code PHNX. Make your first deposit, and you're going to get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. So risk-free bet means that you can bet up to $1,000, and you're going to get all of that back if your bet doesn't hit. So I don't know that I've even seen a promo that's even $1,000 is a lot. But again, that's using promo code PHNX only at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions do apply. See show notes for details on that.
All right, Chierstin. This has been a little bit of a heavy show, but I think we can lighten it up. We just went through the highs and lows, but there were many things that happened on the internet this week that had me saying, did you see this? I freaking love this segment because I love the internet. Obviously, I'm a social media manager, and I'm super excited to take you through some things that we saw on the internet this week. This week was at least, it might have been bad in Arizona sports, but at least it was funny on the internet. Starting with everybody's favorite basketball player in the Valley, at least he's mine, Mikal Bridges. I don't know what happened, but QuikTrip, the gas station decided that they wanted to get in on this conversation about the Suns getting KD and the trade machine. So they tweeted out this proposed trade that ended up with KD going to the Suns, Mikal Bridges going to the 76ers, and some other pieces that were involved. And the caption of the tweet was, "Why this trade works. The Suns get Kevin Durant. Brooklyn gets their protection removed from Philly's 2027 first rounder from the Harden trade. And they get a QuikTrip from Phoenix to replace any bodega." And then they added Mikal Bridges and said Mikal Bridges can finally reunite with Wawa. So I don't know why a gas station thought that this was going to get the conversation started. But hey, shout out to the social media manager at QuikTrip, because that was a great tweet. Mikal actually saw it and he quote tweeted it, and he was not having it. He said, "Y'all so hell and weak," with a bunch of crying emojis. Obviously, Mikal is from Philadelphia, or from Pennsylvania, so he has a love for Wawa like many East Coasters do that I can't explain because I don't understand it. But whatever, if you love Wawa, you love Wawa. But Mikal was not down for it. And also, if you go through the replies on that tweet, Phoenix fans were not happy. They were like, absolutely not. Mikal is not going anywhere. Mikal is staying in Arizona. Don't make us change to Circle K. QuikTrip, we hate you. And the social media manager at QuikTrip had a field day in their comments. So I love that interaction. I love Mikal. I mean, anything with Mikal, I just love.
Also, a quick side note, when I moved to Virginia and saw my first Wawa, I was like, Wawa? Like, I thought it was a joke. But, like, apparently, like, that's a blasphemous thing to say.
Yeah,
like,
Wawa's like holy ground in the East Coast.
Some of them people, we don't have it in Buffalo. I've never been to a Wawa, but you get to someone in, like, South Jersey, Philly, those people will kill
They'll
for
fight
Wawa.
over Wawa. Like,
they don't know about that, about Wegmans. Do you have Wegmans in Virginia?
No, never heard of
Wegmans is
that.
a grocery store in, like, the Northeast. That shit's crazy.
That's like
That I'll die for.
I don't understand it. I don't understand. Like, I don't have a gas station where I'm like, I have to go to this gas station.
Or
like,
grocery store or anything, yeah.
East
Yeah,
Coasters
like,
East Coast is just kind of more passionate about that stuff. Like anything that makes their region unique. Like I feel like things out here are a little more widespread, but you get super regionalized on the East Coast, and people will fight for what they got
That's
in their
like
own towns.
Publix. I feel like in certain areas.
Yeah, I've
like,
heard of that
Publix
one.
are like, it's got like a following. They like their pub subs and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I mean it's like Dutch
that would
here.
be me being like, I love Walmart. I am only
it's-
going
No,
to
but
Walmart.
Walmart's everywhere.
Dutch. It's
Walmart,
Dutch.
ride or die.
Like I came out here and people like were going crazy over Dutch, and I'm like, what? I've never even heard of that before.
Oh, you know, the only thing I can think of, although it's now spreading, but it used to be like this, In-N-Out. Like,
Yeah, West Coasters are like, because I obviously went to
Yeah,
school on
I
the
can
East
see
Coast originally, and the West Coasters out there like, you don't know about In-N-Out, and we were like, I mean, we don't know about In-N-Out now. Like,
But
that,
I mean, like,
it's
In-N-Out
definitely a
and
thing.
like Dutch are like coffee and fast food. Like, I can understand that.
Wawa,
but a
that's
gas
what Wawa
station?
is. Like, it's a gas station, but they have food
Food.
and stuff like
That's
that.
what
It's
people are
bigger than
obsessed
it's
with.
bigger than a gas station. They
Yeah.
don't like it because of the gas.
Oh.
They like it because of like the food and the stuff you can get
yeah.
there. It's like there's another one called Sheets that's popular in parts of
Sheetz,
Pennsylvania
yes.
and stuff like that.
That's
like,
where I grew up in Ohio. That's
Yeah,
Sheetz
yep.
was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well-
Sheetz, Wawa, and QT are like, I feel like the big. I'm sure I'm missing like a region I've not lived in that there's some. Sort
yeah,
of,
in central New York, there's Stewart's. Yeah, it's just called Stewart's. That's a big one. But yeah, the Wawa and Sheets are the big ones in the Northeast.
I don't
There
understand
you
it.
go.
I don't get the hype. QuikTrip, you're canceled until you apologize to Mikal. Sweet baby Mikal is not going anywhere, at least for a while. We protect him at all costs here in the Valley. Speaking of someone we want to protect at all costs, JJ Watt is a gem of a human being, and there's nobody better when they take the podium to give you the most money quotes you've ever heard. Roll the clip, Sean.
I mean, I think you know what I think of the Guardian caps we're wearing. It's keep you safe sometimes. Yeah, you feel like a bobblehead, like you're going to fall over. I'll probably get fined for this. This is great. You guys are just screwing me to start out the whole year. This is great. There's 15 grand gone. This is great. I'm screwed. I'm absolutely screwed. Roger's going to call me in like 5 minutes. I'm not an idiot. I mean, I may have worn no Guardian cap for 12 years, but I'm not that dumb, all right? I'm not going to get too deep into this because I've already got 20 grand down. I mean, we're looking at 50 as the next one, and then probably like a 4-game suspensions after that. So Guardian caps are great. Love them. It's a great addition. We should wear them all the time. Text me. You don't have my number, text Mark. Mark will text me. I'm not going to give you my number. Is that like his shirtless self on the beach, or? I mean, not that successful recently. The guy's an asshole, man. He tried to tell me that there's no strawberry frosted donuts at the store. He tried to tell me that. What kind of donut shop have you ever been to that doesn't have a strawberry frosted? And his golf game is trash. We are both having boys. Yeah. I have no clue if I was supposed to say that. Nobody report that. Delete everything, including all the Guardian shit.
I'm sorry. JJ Watt is the best human being. I'm obsessed with him. That was like the best press conference I've ever seen.
I love how, like, well, first off, I hope he didn't get in trouble for saying the boy thing, but I don't know who else was having a boy on the team that he was talking
Zach
about.
Ertz.
Oh, Ertz. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oops on that if he wasn't supposed to say that. But JJ is like tremendous, and I absolutely love him. Like every locker room and like team needs a guy like that who can just like have at it with the media, and it's always a good time, and there's always like something to come out of it that's like not something negative. Like, love JJ.
Yeah, just a gem of a human being. I also hope he got his strawberry sprinkled donut or whatever.
He did, didn't he? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Okay, good.
I forget what teammate it was. I forget, but
forget.
eventually they brought him his. It became a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're so lucky. Between Makayla and JJ, like we have personality overflowing here in the Valley. So shout out to JJ for just being a gem of a human being. Speaking of interesting things, Devin Booker obviously is the 2K23 cover athlete. He also did some work with like their CGI. I don't know anything about technology or video games, but he is in this interesting suit, and they posted a behind the scenes of it. This is a motion tracker so that they can get his mannerisms and how he shoots and everything like that in the actual game. It's super interesting. I didn't really think about having to do all of this to make a video game. Again, I'm not a video gamer. Don't come for me. But it's really interesting. Cheers.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this, not to this extent. Like, I know that they've like put trackers on people. Like, I knew that was a thing, but I have not seen this much behind the scenes of like, okay, now dribble, now dunk, now shoot a three, now do this. Like, that's really cool. And I have a greater appreciation too, I think, for video games in general. Like 2K, obviously, I know is like a staple video game, but like a lot more respect now that I see everything that goes on behind the scenes so that they can make it as accurate as possible. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It is funny, though, seeing him in that suit. The suit is, like, just awkward. I don't know. It's weird seeing him play basketball not in a Suns jersey, I guess. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure. It definitely is. I mean, he's got, like a bodysuit on.
Yeah,
so,
like a weird thing on his head. I don't know. It was funny. I wish I would have done this before, but we're already down this road. But whatever. This is another Cardinals video, and I absolutely love this because this also brings me so much joy. I don't know if you've ever seen this many men over 200 pounds in one vehicle at one time, but oh my God, the entire Cardinals O-line is in this vehicle, and they're going through a drive-through, getting their little drinky drinks.
Justin Pugh looks like, I mean, if I could just find one thing that makes me smile like the way Justin Pugh smiled at that camera, he looks like he's having the best time of his life.
Yeah, I absolutely love the fact that they fit that many of them in that car, and then they're all hanging out together. I mean, you are in the trenches when you are an O lineman, so I guess it's a good thing to bond with those guys because nobody goes through more, their body goes through more than those O linemen. But just like the idea of that many of them just like piling in that that SUV.
Can we talk about
crack up
Kelvin Beachum not being an offensive lineman and not having a bigger car? Like, you're an NFL football player. Why would you not have like a SUV or something?
That was a big car.
That wasn't Beachum driving.
Well, it was on his. Oh, yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's if you're regardless, you're an NFL offensive lineman. Why do you not have a bigger car?
That looks like an Escalade or something. Like that
was
a big
like a
car.
huge car. It was like a Yukon or something.
There's no way that they're gonna fit that many of them in there.
It is a Yukon
it's a big
Denali.
car.
Yeah, it is. Okay, that looks. Oh, I didn't realize
that's
they went
because of
way
who's
back.
in it, Sean.
Yeah,
that's the point.
They make it
It's
look
a
small
huge
because
car.
they're so big on the inside.
Yeah, did you see by any chance the Vegas Raiders? They were mad at Hunter Renfrow, I think, they ordered an Uber X for him.
Oh yeah, and they
Devontae
couldn't
Adams,
fit.
Derek Carr. There was like 4 NFL football players in a sedan.
Oh my gosh,
can't
that's
even
funny.
imagine.
Yeah, they definitely couldn't fit.
Shout out to the O line.
I hope Hump paid for those drinks too with that nice little extension.
He better have. Oh my gosh. Love to see them bonding though, even if they look like they are piled in a clown car. Speaking of football, we got to round it out with this one. It's not an Arizona sports related one, but when I saw this on Twitter, I just died because mostly I'm obsessed with Joe Burrow. I don't know what it is. Actually, I know what it is about this man. Not only is he beautiful, he has a great personality. I'm just obsessed with him. But anyways, so he is recovering from getting his appendix removed. He has just been kind of doing walkthroughs, hasn't been doing the full training camp stuff. Obviously, he just got his appendix out, but he is whipping around on this golf cart at training camp. Obviously, still wants to be involved, still wants to show his teammates that he is there to support and be a part of the team. So they have assigned Joe Burrow the golf cart. He's been driving his teammates around. They've just been having a good time out there. And not only does he drive his teammates around, but he also does drills with his teammates in the cart. Look at him go. Look at him go.
Look at the left if you're watching this. Look at the left-hand side of your screen. Joe Burrow is running sprints with his teammates in the golf cart back and forth. Are you kidding me?
I love this. He is just whipping the cart up and down the line with his teammates. Just... I'm sorry, but that is hilarious. I don't know, although I don't know if I would like it. If I was out there, a football player, and I'm exhausted from camp and I'm running sprints and I look over and I see Joe Burrow just whipping around in a car, I'd be like, what the heck?
That's all he can do.
Like,
now,
why is he in a car?
If the dude was like, you know what, I just feel a little crampy today. I think I'm just going to not run. That's one thing.
Yeah,
but like, he can't help it. So like, I would appreciate, like, he wants to be in it with everybody. Like, if that's the only way that he can do it, then like I also, it was like very entertaining. So I'll take that.
It's true. Charles Waddle Pike say QB mobility 99. Yeah, he is out there. I mean, I just love it. I love the camaraderie that it shows. I love that he wants to be with his teammates despite the fact that he can't actually run because he's still recovering from getting his appendix out. I just love Joe Burrow. I'm sorry. Like, Joey B is, there's what's not to love, Chierstin?
I know. Joey B and Josh Allen are like my favorite QBs right now.
You're speaking my language, Chierstin.
Don't know. You're going to get Sean on a
Josh
tangent.
Allen is the
here
GOAT.
we go.
Did you by any chance see the video of the four of them at the golf, the match or whatever? Like, it was
which
Mahomes, Brady, all of them.
Which clip?
And they asked all of them who their favorite defensive or the hardest defensive back to play is, and they're all like, "Oh, Charles Woodson, blah blah blah." And then it gets to Josh Allen, he's like, Trey White, Buffalo Bills. That's all he had to say.
I love this new wave of quarterbacks that we'll get to see ball out for years to come. It's cool to see their personalities. And I just love that clip. Shout out to him. I also would do that if I were a quarterback. I would take any excuse to drive around a golf cart because I love golf carts. I'm a menace that's behind the wheel.
That could be
You're
dangerous.
a menace behind the wheel when it's a car on the highway, Matt.
All right. I do my best, okay?
That could be dangerous, and oftentimes it is dangerous.
All right. Well, that was Did You See That? I hope that made you guys smile because I love the internet when it's at its best, and that was a good week on the internet. You know what else I love, Cheers? I love OGs.
Yes, ma'am.
My gosh. OGs. I can't say enough good things about our friends over at OGs. They have the best tasting scratch-made THC gummies here in the Valley. They are made in the Valley, so that is obviously why they are so amazing among many other reasons. They have the best flavors, like I mentioned. The orange creamsicle is my absolute favorite. I will take a 10 milligrams indica right before I go to sleep, and I have the best sleep of my life. They also just released a limited time edition seasonal flavor. Pina colada, the creamy coconut, and the pineapple is perfect for summer. It is almost my favorite, but the orange creamsicle still has a little bit of an edge to it. They also have 3 milligram microdose options. So if you don't want to go the 10 milligram route and you just want to dip your toe in the THC gummy water, the 3 milligram microdose options is the best way to do it. We're also doing a sweepstakes with OGs. It is our Flavoring Life sweepstakes. One winner will receive 3 bags of OGs, including orange creamsicle, which is my favorite, and the tropical flavors, an OGs hat, a PHNX shirt of your choice, and a PHNX annual membership.
Holy cow.
We are hooking you up. You can sign up for the Flavoring Life sweepstakes at gophnx.com or click the link in our show notes. We also have it posted all over our social media channels. Check out OGs online at ogsbrands.com and on Instagram at ogsbrands. You can also find their products at your local dispensary. Must be 21 years or older to purchase.
I'm impressed. That's quite the giveaway.
That is a haul. Chierstin, it's a Friday.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if my beer spill.
Oh my gosh, did it dry finally?
It's dried.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's dried.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this show and we hope you're enjoying it. Going to enjoy your weekend. It will officially start after our show is over for us. If you want to become a part of the family, like we highly recommend you do, you can go to gophnx.com and sign up for a membership. You get your first month for only 50 cents, or if you sign up for an annual membership, you'll get a free t-shirt from the PHNX locker. We've got so many cool shirts. You You can also just go over to the locker and pick one up if you want some new swag to celebrate the start of new sports seasons. And yeah, that's that. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers to the weekend.
Cheers to the weekend. We'll see you guys next week at 12:30 on Friday. Bye.